everyone tells you about color theory, it's not actually that mysterious. It's also one of my favorite things to talk about. So today I'm pulling out 7 of my favorite books about color that I've gathered after 15 years of designing professionally. Okay, plus a few bonuses because I couldn't help myself. These are going to span the gamut, from the textbooks that I was taught from in my color theory classes at Pratt back in the day, to nerdy deep dives on the history and cultural relevance of specific shades, to ones that just show you interesting palette combinations, and they just make me happy to look at. I've got a lot to gush about, so let's dive in. If we're just meeting, I'm Janelle. I've been a freelance graphic designer for about 15 years now, and I think that color is one of the most vague, mysterious skill sets for any artist or designer or just general creative person to master. There's just so much terminology and weird color codes and rules that seem to contradict each other. And when I was first learning this and people would throw around terms like tertiary pairings and double complements, my eyes would go glassy. So as promised, here are some of my favorite resources that have really helped me get my head around this, plus the ones that I go back to when I just want a fresh jolt of inspiration. Okay, we can't do a video on color without first addressing His Excellency, Josef Albers. This is the bedrock of any art school color theory course, and if you just want to really understand color, this is where you gotta start. So our friend Josef was a German artist who taught at the Bauhaus School and pretty much single-handedly created what we think of as modern-day color theory. So his book, Interaction of Color, is about how the idea of what color is shifts and morphs depending on how we view it, how colors can change when they're put next to other colors, and how the context of what we see shifts our eyeballs and how we engage with color. It's what makes the whole thing about color theory feel so kind of mysterious and complicated, and he does a very good job of breaking it down in a very practical, very German kind of way. It's definitely a textbook, and it's a little intense, but it's a really good foundation for how to start. I'm sure every art school handles this a little bit differently, but at Pratt, the first color theory class you took was called Light, Color, and Design, and it was basically just going through this book with a block of this stuff. If you have had any kind of art class, you might just have PTSD looking at this book, and I apologize. But this is called Color Aid. This is a little pocket version I bought on Amazon, but the one you got at school was a giant, wildly expensive, pretty much toxic box of just pure bits of color. And we would use these sheets of coded color to cut up and rearrange and use in different combinations following the instructions in this book. He gives really specific exercises of how to learn about how colors interact with each other, how the same color looks completely different when you put it next to different things. And just experimenting with different combinations and understanding these interactions is pretty much all of color theory when you're in school. The first edition was released in the 60s. This is the 50th edition. I think you can honestly find some that are a little bit farther back online for cheap if you just want to kind of get the general idea. It is a little bit dense and it's kind of a lot to get through. So fortunately, the internet provides, and recently, someone came out with a companion. This is called Interacting with Color, and it only came out in 2024. They worked with all of his original theory, but made it a little bit easier to grasp, a little bit more streamlined, and they picked just a few of the experiments that are in this book for you to really walk through a little bit easier. This is really designed to be a textbook, assuming that a teacher would be walking you through it in class. This is that class. They do a good job of making the ideas a little bit easier to digest and explaining the process of doing these experiments a little bit more clearly. They pick a few of the exercises, so it's a little bit clearer to know where to start and help you be able to walk through on your own. If you're wanting to DIY your own art school color theory class, do yourself a favor and pick up this and a little pocket version of Color Aid. You can spend hours really playing with color and getting your head into how all of these things interact with each other, and it really opens up the whole world of color. So honestly, if you just want to learn color theory, we could probably stop the video right here. But I am a color nerd, and I love diving in to just beautiful possibilities of palettes and history. So that's what the rest of the stack is. If you just want to learn the history of colors and pigments, I love this book. The first section is all about how we see color, how our eyes work, and how we've experienced color over time, how politics have affected color names and all that kind of stuff. It's super fascinating. And then she goes through color family by family. There are just great stories and snippets in history about how a certain pigment was developed or some sort of scandal involving a color. It's super fascinating and fun. If you just like collecting random bits of knowledge to pull out at a cocktail party, this is your book. For a totally different take on a nerdy color deep dive, this is The Designer's Dictionary of Color by Sean Adams. This is actually part of a series. I talk about his type book in my typography books video, which you should go watch after this one. And it's a great blend of the context of a color, plus just looking at a lot of examples. For each shade, he gives a little blurb about the history and the meaning of the color, but he also dives into cultural meaning. As a designer, if I want to use the color red in an Asian market, I need to think about that very differently than if I'm designing for an American one. I love flipping this book open if I've settled on a color as kind of the hero for a palette, because I want to make sure that there's not anything I'm missing about it. He always lists famous applications of the color, so if I'm making a beverage brand, this helps me remember, oh yeah, Coca-Cola red is probably not the way to go. And now I've saved myself some tragedy. And then there's a few pages of really great examples of what that color can do in context, in physical form, in fashion, in design, and how you can see that used around you. And then each section ends with the range of colors that we still call that name, and how different palettes can lay out with that color, including color codes. It's a really helpful kind of overview of what a color can do in context, and can really spark some ideas of how it can show up in real life. A very similar idea is this one, Palette Perfect. The form of these is obviously different, but they're doing very similar things. So for each shade, she talks about the vibe and the cultural implications and how it can be used. But then I really like how she breaks down different palette ideas of how that color can show up against other things. She also talks about the cultural differences and then shows ranges and gradients and a few examples of how it can be used in context. They're definitely doing similar things, and unless you are a nerd like myself who wants to collect every design book ever made, you probably only need one of these, but I think they're really helpful references to be able to see color in context when you need kind of a starting point of an idea. If you find yourself getting turned around with all of the codes and numbers and systems for how we use color digitally and in print, I feel you. I made a whole little freebie guide on my website of just how to understand color codes, how to use which one when, and what the best practices are. It's free, it's on my website, go download it, I hope it helps. I also have a whole page on there where I just play around with color palettes that I've put together from mood boards or songs that I'm just inspired by. I just do it for fun, but I figure why not share if something strikes your fancy. If you've made it this far into the video, you might also enjoy just browsing around and looking at color palettes with me. Also, if you're this far in the video, you should subscribe so we can hang out. And if these start you thinking about palettes, this is really the deep dive. This is confusingly also named Palette Perfect, but it's a very different vibe. Instead of a deep dive on specific shades, this is pure inspiration for different palette ideas and how colors can combine in different ways. It's just meant to get your brain turning when you need a jolt of inspiration. The first volume is organized by mood, so instead of sorting by color family, you can go based on the feeling that you want to get across. If I want to represent the abstract idea of tranquility, that can look like a lot of different things. So this gives you inspiration points for how you can pull colors from a lot of different families that still evoke the same kind of emotion or vibe. Each section starts with photographs or artwork that inspire that palette, and then there are these really helpful grids. It's not just showing colors, it's ratios of how that palette can interact with each other, along with the specific color codes of each color used. I love pulling this out when I'm beginning a new project. If I know that the brand I'm working on is sort of dreamy and ethereal, I can go to that section and get inspiration for combinations of colors that I probably wouldn't have thought of with my own bias, but they still kind of fit in that color family. It's a really nice place to start. So the first volume is all about mood, but the second volume is organized by season. And it's just a different way of looking at the same kind of colors. So for each one, she breaks down a classical, neutral, and bold version of that seasonal kind of color story. Summer can feel really bright and citrusy, or it can feel really nautical and aquatic, or it can feel really natural and ephemeral. And this gives you really interesting interpretations of what that can look like in really different ways. And again, each one is laid out with the specific color codes if you want to actually pull that specific shade. They're just handy references to have in your library. And now back into the nerdy deep dives. I love this book from the Victoria and Albert Museum. I am a slut for textiles. I love fabrics and weavings and embroidery. I love learning about different cultures' weaving styles and the history of different fabrics. I just love it. So this is a marriage of two of my favorite things. The museum curators went through their very extensive collection of textiles and rugs, tapestries and weavings and pillows, and pulled out specific examples from different time periods, and then made the color palettes inspired by them. And I love this idea because it's a totally different way of looking at color. You can learn about Chinese silks in the 1700s, and then see how those colors could be used in a really modern project. You know the palette combination is going to work because you can see it right here, but I feel like the combinations are things that I would never come up with if I was just pulling out my watercolors. It's a really inspiring way of seeing fresh combinations of colors that you might not think of on your own. I just love this. Plus, I think it's just really pretty on the coffee table. And speaking of which, we have to get to my last book, which is the definitive coffee table book on color. If you have a color nerd in your life and you just want to give them a pretty gift, this is for you. This is the 20th Century in Color by Pantone. And true to its name, it goes through the history of the 20th century, looking at different color trends at different times. Some of these I was pretty familiar with, but a lot of them were completely new to me. Each page gives a little blurb about the history of the color trend, and then gives examples of it in fashion or design or art. And then it gives the color palette only in Pantone colors, if you want to actually use those colors. What I love about this is that we think about certain decades as being really specific in design style. So when I think about the 1950s, I think about mid-century design, and that evokes a certain specific color palette. And that's in here. But so are a lot of other color palettes that I didn't think about as being part of this time period. But they're all rooted in that history. So you can get kind of fresh ideas if you want to reference, a retro aesthetic. There are a lot of different versions of what that could be. It just kind of gets your brain going. Plus, it's just fun to learn about. I just love this book, and I think it makes an excellent gift or beautiful thing to lay out in your home. So there you have it. Everything from the textbooks that I think are really seminal to just beautiful things to fill your eyeballs with color. If you want to continue going down the rabbit hole of books that I love, I have a whole playlist right here. I'll see you there.